There it goes. So you could see that the fenders are black like the frame was. So this was a solid black bike. We don't know about the fuel tank because we don't have it. But it was definitely a black bike. And I have discovered that it is not a Massimo like I thought it was. This bike is actually a Baja. And it would be a 165 Baja. And the way I determined that through the internet was that the 165 is a little different than the 200 Baja, and that it's got steel fenders, okay, which this bike does, that both fenders are steel, which means the fuel tank would have been steel instead of plastic, where the 200s had plastic fenders and a plastic fuel tank. So I found that out. And the other thing that I have found out is that this 165 came with, it had chrome on it. It had silver fenders. It had a chrome headlight, chrome handlebars, silver fenders, and the forks were, made to try to look silver. They're painted. So basically they tried to make a silver and chrome front end on the 165s. And on the 200s, the Baja 200s, everything is blacked out. So your headlights black, your handlebars are black, your rims are black. And so I did find that out until I'm proven wrong. If any of y'all got any info on this that can help me out, please do. I would, greatly appreciate that. But anyway, so come down to 165 Baja. And the other part of that is the, what am I trying to say? The bike is, as far as I know, the bike, Baja 165s came in two different bikes that I have found so far. And a real common one was the green one. It was called a Baja Mini Fire Heat, H-E-A-T, Mini Heat. Not fire, but Mini Heat. And it had flames on the gas tank. The bike was green. It had the chrome front end with the silver wheels and everything, just like this bike did. Okay, and it was green. Now, the black one that they make was, a solid black bike. So I'm still looking for some more photos of it. I think that's the bike that I've got. Okay, so I've got the Baja 165 Mini. I'm not sure if there was another part to the name of the version that was black or all the details about it, but I did see a couple of black ones that were factory bikes. So I'm going to say that that's the one that we got. And if y'all can come up with any info on it, please let me know. That would be great. So anyway, I'm still, I'm not sure that if I want to go with a solid black bike. I really kind of was leaning towards red, black frame with red fenders, I think is what I'm going to do. Just because I just don't really care for solid black anything, especially on this type of a bike that's going to be going off-road most of the time. It's going to get dirty and all that stuff. And I just think the red and black looks better. The chrome, red and black, I mean, I just don't see how you can beat that paint job. Anyway, hey, y'all, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the color. And anyway, I'm going to get back to work. So, steel wool comes in different, what they call aughts. So, you can have a 3/0, a 2/0, a 1, and there's a single, a double aught, triple aught, and this is what we got. Fine. That would be what? Quadruple aught. I mean, I think that's about as fine as steel wool comes. I may be wrong about that, but anyway, it's damn fine. Okay, folks. So now just imagine if we had shot this with some clear coat. That's just water that's on there, but that's what it would look like basically if you shot it with some super high gloss. It'd be a good looking fender. Original paint job. But, now I do see some scratches in there, some really, really fine scratches. And they've got, they're going back and forth this way. And some of them, I think I see a little blue paint in them. So I think those scratches were on there before they painted it blue. And there's definitely some little low spots here and there with some blue in them. I don't see any really bad dents or dings or anything. I don't know if y'all can see those super fine scratches that are on there. And you see where the blue is in there. Maybe you can see that right there. Right in there. Anyway, they need to be repainted. They don't have to be, but like I said, I could put the bike back original and it'd still be a good looking bike, but I done painted the frame because it had bad chips in it all the way to the metal. Alright, folks. So, here is some of the paints that I've bought. And I believe I've got a couple more that I'm going to get. And I may or may not want to buy something different on some of these colors because I'm not real sure about like this. So this one back here is the primer and it's enamel. Okay. Now I wanted the acrylic lacquer for my top coats. Okay. Because to try to make this thing a little bit gas and chemical resistant, to toughen up the outside of the paint. And I have read where you can use this acrylic on top of these other paints. Okay. Then on the red for the fenders, this one says it'll bond to just about anything. Also bonds to plastic. Okay. Then the primer that's going to go underneath the red, which is this white, one of these whites. I got a full flat and I've got a gloss white that will be underneath the red so that when I paint the fenders red, it'll be bright red. I got the flat because I thought maybe the red would stick to the flat, and it is a primer, better. But, okay, so anyway, I sprayed the frame with this black enamel, but I did not primer it, and the reason I didn't is because it still had the original black paint under there. There was no need in primering. The primer is to go on metal, so I didn't see the point in putting the primer under it, and I wiped it down with some lacquer thinner before I sprayed it, and the frame looks like it's doing fine. The paint is doing really good. It's starting to get really super hard, and it's got to set up for a while before I can wet sand it and spray anything else on it, like the clear coat. So let me know what y'all think about that. And then I've got these two chromes that thought I would try to see if I could chrome the wheels and maybe the front forks. Now this Duplicolor Perfect Match, I've had this can here for about 5 or 6 years, and I know it's good stuff. It's raised pretty good chrome. I've never used that one before. I've heard good things, I've heard bad things. Let me know what y'all think about the two chromes. And then this is the gray that matches the kind of silver metallic that the front top part of the forks and the bottom part of the forks were originally painted from the factory. That's what that's for. If I don't go with chrome, I'll go back to original, color. Okay, and then so if I go back over the frame, or if anything else on the bike needs to be black, I'll be going with this. Then we got our fenders right there. We got our undercoat for the red. Uh, you know, there again, now the fenders still have the original paint on them, so I don't see the point in putting a primer on it. Okay, then we got some various tapes and stuff, and then we do have a few other things over here that just stuff I had in my collection of paints and stuff that I just dug out everything that was even viable that could be used on this mini bike, and just different colors and whatnot. But anyway, so here's what we got, and I already had this can of hammered metal, kind of a copper color. I thought maybe I might want to do a couple of accents on something with just a touch of copper here and there. That would look cool. And but anyway, so that's what we're working on here. I'm doing a lot of reading and a lot of studying on these different paints about mixing different types of paints as far as enamel, lacquer, acrylic, you know. And it seems to me that you can use any of it. It just depends on whether if you're going to be sanding it or not sanding it or roughing up the paint before you put the other one on it, or the time elapse between when you put the coats on. Some of it, my understanding is that you want it to cure really well before you put a different kind of paint on top of the other one, because otherwise it'll melt it. And then the other thing that I've been reading on is that you wait a certain amount of time, but you do want a chemical bond to form between these two different, as far as like lacquer and um, acrylic or enamel. You don't want to wait too long, but you do want them to melt together somewhat. To basically, they're creating one paint by the two melting together. So there's two different schools of thought on mixing lacquers and enamels and all that stuff. So anybody that's got any info on that, let me know what you think. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.